get an idea of who we're dealing with here, if you need help more with your distance vision, could you raise your hand? Okay. And then obviously if I want to see if you have if you wear reading glasses or have mostly trouble with close vision, could I see who's here with that? Oh, nobody. Okay. Well, we're going to focus on distance vision. Yay. Makes it pretty simple. There's usually a real mix of vision problems in these trainings. So,
I have a different issue.
yeah.
I have an atypical retinitis pigmentosa.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see silhouettes, but I can't see people's faces or expressions. I can't read from the screen unless it's, severe high contrast and large print.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've worked with RP before, so
Thank
I've had some success with it. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is also different. My eye got
Yeah, Joseph.
good eye. I have problem with eye, but it's a long problem. My good eye get blurry kind of fast. Even with glasses that give me 20 vision, it get also tired and it get blurry even with glasses.
Okay. Are your glasses magnifying, or do they? What is your prescription? Are they
My
magnifying?
prescription originally was for distance,
Okay.
but so I had retina detachment in another eye and lens removed, so it's I'm waiting for surgery for that one. So meanwhile, my right eye is tired or whatever is going on, it gets blurry really fast.
Okay. Well, what I want to do tonight is start with just a little bit of an overview about how to fix vision and what that means, how you improve eyesight. And then I want to open it up for questions basically and start working with your individual needs. So it's a pretty simple plan. Most of you have been through some of my training, but I will just act as if you haven't had any background at all. I know a lot of people in here who's had experience already working on your vision. Usually there's quite a few people that have. Yeah. It's pretty common these days. So, hey, it's not like 30 years ago where you're like, what are you talking about? Okay. Well, let me just introduce myself. My name is, as you know, Gloria again, and I have been working with improving eyesight since 1978. Oh, so 46 years. And I work with all types of vision problems. I was focusing right now primarily on nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. But I do work with other vision problems as well. So that's little history. If you've been to my website, you know a little bit my history, that I had normal sight until college. And then after a couple of years, I noticed that my vision was blurry. And I went to an optometrist and he gave me glasses. And that just didn't sit right with me because I thought, my vision's been good for 18 years. I should have it the rest of my life. There was nothing physically wrong with my eyes that was causing them to be poor. So therefore, something I was doing that was making my vision get worse. And I knew if I could make my vision get worse, I could make it get better. If I could figure out what I was doing that was making it get worse and then reverse that process, then I would be back on the way to good vision again. So that was my motivating force in looking for a way to fix my own vision. And it took about 6 or 7 years before I came across a method to do that. That's a whole story in itself. But that's basically, since then, I've had normal sight for, I guess, close to 50 years now. So, and I can also say, at 74, that you don't have to ever lose your close vision either, or lose your vision as a result of age. So that's, you can keep it your whole life once you learn how to see and bring your vision back. So that's the basic idea behind this method, is that vision is 9/10 mental and 1/10 physical. And what I mean by that is not so much mind over matter, as although there's nothing wrong with that. This is not that. It's simply that, where do your eyes focus? How do your eyes know where to focus? what tells your eyes to focus at one distance or another distance. If you shift your attention from something close and then you suddenly shift your attention to something in the distance, how do the eyes know to change shape? You ever thought about that? How do they know to change shape? What's telling the eye to change shape? And what's changing it is the shift of mental attention. When your attention shifts from one distance to another, that sends a command through the nerves to the muscles to change the shape of the eye so that immediately it's focused where your attention is. You can't consciously focus your eyes all day long from one thing to another, okay, focus, refocus. It's not going to happen. So the eyes have to focus automatically, involuntarily, just like your heart beats involuntarily. You don't have to make your heart beat. It's going to happen automatically. And that's the way it is with the vision, that the eyes are going to focus automatically where the attention is at any given moment in time. So the problem with vision is where is the attention? When you're looking close, but you're not seeing close, well, the attention's farther away than where you're looking. So if you're looking far and you're not seeing in the distance clearly, the attention's actually not there. There's an effort with nearsightedness, for example, when you can't see well in the distance, to try to pull the far object in close to see it. So you're looking here, but mentally you're trying to bring it in here to see it. And so you imagine the image bigger and closer than it actually is. And then you can't see it clearly because you're not bringing the building in close. It's going to stay where it is. So all you do is blow up the image, which blurs the image. And then you use glasses that shrink things down to compensate for the mind blowing things up. And physiologically, I want to show you a little bit about how that works with the eye, is that the eyeball changes shape constantly to adjust focus near and far. So to see close, the eye has to be in a longer shape than it does to see in the distance, so that you have a different focal length for light to focus. Let's see. Like to see close, it's going to be more or less that kind of a shape. It's going to be longer, so that you have a longer focal distance. This is for close vision. And to see far, it's going to have to flatten more like that to see in the distance. There's two muscles. These two muscles on the outside of the eye will squeeze the eye to focus the eye for close up. And then the other four muscles will flatten the eye back against the socket to focus it in the distance. So this is for far vision, and this is for close vision. Still can't draw a good eyeball with a mouse. I can draw it much better with a pen, frankly. With a mouse, I'm just not that great at it. After all these years. Anyway, that's how it's adjusting shape to focus constantly. What tells these muscles to contract is what I was getting at earlier, because a muscle cannot decide to contract by itself. So for the muscle to contract, the only way that it does that is to have a command through the nerves to contract. In this case, the nerves are involuntary, so that your eyes are automatically focusing where the attention is. The unconscious part of the mind that's taking care of the focusing of the eyes, so you don't have to consciously do it all day long. Let's go back to this. Like say, if I go to, let me show you the glasses. Golly, come on, get in there. Like the, can you still see this?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you have a habit of staying in a close focus when you're looking far away, if you're nearsighted, you can go to a doctor and he'll put a lens in front of your eye, and with the right shaped lens, you can see far away with your eye focusing close up. But you have to keep your eye in a close focus to see through that lens. There's no way you can see through that lens and have your eye in a far focus. It doesn't work. So that glasses make the problem more habitual and lock it in and become a habit. And when you're looking, the opposite happens. When you're looking close up, you're staying in a far focus. You can put the right shaped lens in front of your eye, right magnification, and that's going to bend the light rays when they come in through the retina, so that they're going to go back against the back, and they're going to focus right in the back of the eye. So the light rays are going to come through and focus back here. But you have to keep your eye in a far focus to see close up through those lenses. So that's what glasses actually aggravate the problem and make it worse. So that's in a nutshell, what's happening physically with the eye when you're not seeing clearly. The attention is not really where you're looking. There's a strain related to looking. Straining to see far will pull your eye in a close focus. Straining to see close will push your eye into a far focus. So it's a matter of teaching you how to focus your attention at that distance again without the strain. And fortunately, there are very specific ways you can go about doing that. First of all, let me come back to it. Do you have any questions on any of this to start with?
I have a question.
Yeah, Sarah.
So, the lenses that you get when you have cataract surgery, they're like glasses, correct? They kind of permanently, they are more permanent than glasses because they can correct your near vision or your far vision.
Yeah, they're going to change the lens inside the eye so that it bends the light rays just like wearing glasses would.
So then at that point, you can't really, like if I got one of those lenses, I wouldn't be able to use your techniques to see better, would I?
Well, this is an interesting question because a lot of people have had LASIK and have had other other types of surgeries. And let me come back to this diagram. What happens is if your eye is in this shape, because you're habitually nearsighted, right? Okay. So you've had this lens in here. Now they're going to instead put the lens inside the eye. So in the lens that they're putting into your eye for the cataract, when they're replacing your natural lens with an artificial lens, they're going to make it a different shape so that it's going to bend the light rays a little differently, right? Kind of like glasses would. But that's, yes, your eye will be in a different shape than it would have been without the surgery. To see clearly, if you were to relax the strain to when you're looking far and your eye was going back into this kind of a shape and you had that other kind of lens, it wouldn't be clear, right? You following me?
I think so.
Yeah. So your eye wouldn't be able to see close up in the distance with that lens. Technically, if you had a different shaped lens that they're putting in the eye. However, the mind is really good at compensating, and it's more relaxing to see clearly than it is to not see clearly. So you can learn to focus clearly in the distance after the surgery. Your eye's going to be in a different shape, but you can see clearly after the surgery. It's not, point is you can work with the vision after the surgery and still help the vision come back. Your eye will be in a different shape. Just like with LASIK, if a person's had LASIK, it's a similar thing where they've had surgery on the eye. So the eye stays in near, whoa, I'm going to go to it. I need a different eye. This is getting really messed up. Okay, there's got to be an eraser here somewhere. There it is. Okay, let me try that again. So say you have a nearsighted eye. And they're going to take the cornea and they're going to open a flap out and they're going to flatten it. They're going to actually use a laser to vaporize basically part of the cornea. And then they're going to put the flap back down. Now the front of the eyeball works like glasses. So the eye is going to have to stay in a closer focus to see through the post-LASIK eye than it would have without the surgery. But you can still see with it that way. So the thing is, it's temporary anyway, because as long as you keep straining in the same way you are, the prescription is going to keep getting higher and higher, right? Have you had the same prescription that you did 10 years ago?
I don't know. I feel like my prescription might be the same if I didn't have this cataract. I think it's just the opaqueness of the cataract that's really in the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I might just get the plain lens.
Yeah. you could, it's more, what happens is after any kind of surgery like that, like LASIK or surgery where you're changing, putting a lens in the eye,
Mhm.
it's going to be temporary as long as if you keep straining in the same way you have been, because you're going to need a higher prescription. After the surgery, they're not going to go back and do more surgery on your eye. So now you use glasses after the surgery.
Mhm.
So that's why after LASIK, so many people are back in glasses within a few years because they keep getting the strain. So
Yeah.
if you learn how to focus without strain, you can maintain the clarity that you gained from the surgery.
Mhm.
But yes, technically your eye is going to be in a slightly different shape than it would have been without that. But we're talking millimeters of a difference in shape. I've exaggerated the degree that the eye is changing, but it's really just,
Okay.
they're shaving off a millimeter, I mean,
Mhm.
it's really very small of a
Mhm.
change. So it definitely
Okay.
can compensate. So good question.